critics said the English, the Army of Occupation, were depicted as war criminals. Were they war criminals? Well, not by the standards of the day. However, lots of critics tend to be guilty of present-mindedness. By the rules of warfare today, as applied by the UN in Bosnia and elsewhere, Tarleton, Lord Cornwallis, Sir Henry Clinton would be dragged before the International Court at The Hague and without a doubt convicted and executed as war criminals. Because the statute of the International Tribunal on War Crimes, which was adopted in May of 1993 and amended in 1998, has defined a war crime, for example, grave breaches of the Geneva Convention of 1949, such as willful killing, the extensive destruction and appropriation of property not justified by military necessity and carried out unlawfully and wantonly, the burning of Marion's plantation, the theft of his property, had those been slaves, compelling a prisoner of war, a civilian, to serve in the forces of a hostile power. This happened in the Carolinas when folks were given a choice of, you're going to have to join us or you're going to go to jail. Taking civilians as hostages. The wanton destructions of cities, towns, or villages. The seizure of, destruction, or willful damage done to institutions dedicated to religion, charity, and education. Major James Weems burning all those Presbyterian meeting houses. That's considered a war crime. So the British were not war criminals in 1780 and 81 in South Carolina. But if you apply 21st century standards, there might have been a problem. By the rules of the conduct of war in the 18th century, what the British did was not in violation of the rules of war. In fact, at one point, as Marion's son is being carted off by the British to jail and eventually supposed to be hanged, Marion talks about rules of war, and Tarleton takes his pistol and says, "Sir, I'll give you the rules of war," or words to that effect. And the rules of war was might makes right. So you can't look at the past through the 21st century lens. But if you did, yes, you would say the Brits were war criminals.